What's up, guys? I got y'all with another video today, bro, and for this one we will be ranking every single attunement paired with heavy weapon, bro, and how good their synergies are. All right, before we get into the video, I just want to ask you guys to like and subscribe, bro. It really helped me out. And the Robux giveaway actually ends tonight at 8 p.m. EST. All right, so if you guys want that, you got to get on that like right now. But alongside that giveaway, I have the 10k Robux giveaway if I hit 5k subs before the end of New Year's. So hey, sub up for that if you guys want 10k or have a chance to win 10k. And before we get into the video, I want to highlight these synergies are categorized for PvP, not PvE, alright? If you guys want a separate video for PvE rankings, I can do that as well. But without further ado, let's get into the last place spot, aka the worst synergy, which is Shadowcast, alright? Now, Shadowcast is in last place not because Shadowcast itself is bad, but the synergy with Heavy just isn't great, alright? Shadowcast has a lot of good talents and synergizes great with other weapons, but unfortunately, Heavy just isn't a weapon it can synergize well with or take advantage of. Now, Shadow is in last place, not because Shadow itself is bad, even Shadow is actually one of the top 3 attunements in Chime right now, but Shadow with Heavy, it just isn't great, alright? Shadowcast has a lot of good talents and synergizes great with other weapons, but unfortunately, Heavy just isn't a weapon that Shadow can really take advantage of. Cryptblade is the one exception to this, and it's a reason for why Shadowcast is good with Heavy, but Cryptblade is one of the top 3 legendary heavy weapons in the game at the moment, so you can't really call Shadowcast good if it's only good when paired with a top 3 legendary weapon in the game, and that's why I put it in last place. And right above Shadowcast, we actually have Thundercall. Now similarly, Thundercall is only useful when you pair it with Bull Crusher. Don't get me wrong, Bull Crusher is a very good weapon, and honestly, it can be a top 5, top 3 weapon in the game right now. But once again, it is a legendary weapon and carries the attunement by itself, okay? The only other scenario for which people use Thundercall with heavy weapon is actually on fish builds. For those of you that don't know, fish builds are typically made with a Petra's Anchor plus either Thundercall or Flame Charm, for really good water mobility, and that's what makes them so good for ganks. However, these builds have since fallen out of the meta, and the new fish builds either use Bolt Crusher or other medium weapons like Trident Spear for faster water mobility. And in 6th place, we have Frostar. Now, Frostar would actually be higher on this list if it weren't for the attunement right above this being fairly broken as of now, but Ice is still decent as an attunement. With Shadowcast and Thundercall, you are forced to go high attunement, which is 80 plus stat points into whatever your attunement is. However, Ice is actually the very first scenario we see in this list where you can actually go pre-shrine with it and pick up some essential talents to help out your build. There are 2 main strategies with pre-shrine Ice. The first strategy is picking up 30 Frostar for the essential mantras of Ice Lance or Crystal Impale, which are very good in Chime and can lead to some really good true combos. Or you can go 60 Frostar to pick up some more talents for more tankiness or durability, and one more key mantra, which is Ice Daggers with the talent Frozen Pincushion. Frostar can also be used as a high investment as well if you put 80 plus stat points into it, but high Frostar has a much better synergy with faster swinging weapons such as light or medium weapon, and it just doesn't have much synergies at high investment as other weapons do, considering there is no legendary weapon that suits Frostar very well. Now that we wrapped up the somewhat honorable mentions, let's start off the top 5 with a pretty broken attunement, Bloodrend. Some of you guys might be wondering why this isn't higher on the list, and it's purely just because Bloodrend actually has somewhat poor synergy with heavy weapons. Before Blood Orb got nerfed, it was a key mantra to pick up with only a 1 blood investment on any heavy build, and it would just act as a second exhaustion strike. However, it has since been nerfed alongside other blood mantras that were essential on heavy and were used on basically any heavy build. These nerfs caused Bloodrend to lose its importance with heavy weapons with the majority of its mantras. However, high Bloodrend is still a somewhat viable option due to the large damage you can get alongside good Bloodsteel with Vampirism or Curse of Bloodthirsty. Since the nerfs caused Bloodrend to lose its quick capabilities it once had, it fell lower than it used to be on this list. In 4th place, we actually have a personal favorite, Flame Charm. Alright, Flame Charm is an all-around good attunement to pick up, and I really wanted to put this in the top 3 for this list, but the attunement above this just outshines it in every way. The good part about Flame Charm is it can be used both pre-shrine and post-shrine, meaning you can pick up some essential talents from it and then shrine it down, or you can go 80 plus stat points into it, with it still being good both ways. This is a rare case for attunements to have, and is my personal reason for putting it so high on this list. If you're going 30 Flame Charm, the main talents and mantras to pick up would be Flaming Flourish, number 1, alongside some really good flame mantras like Flame Leap, Rising Flame, or even Flame Sentinel if you're like that. If you want to pick up some extra talents, pushing it to 65 Flame Charm for Mirage clones or even Eruption Path talents wouldn't really hurt at all. Alongside this good synergy with Heavy, it can also be used as a high attunement investment when paired with specific weapons. The main weapon people use with High Flame is without a doubt Pyrekeeper. Since Pyrekeeper is such a good weapon, it further puts Flame Charm at a higher stage than some of the other attunements on this list. And finally, getting into the top 3, we have one of the strongest attunements in the game right now, Iron Sing. Now, Iron Sing has similar properties to Flame Charm, but just does it better, alright? The only thing lacking in Iron Sing is its pre-shrine capabilities. They actually nerfed most of the talents by making them scale with Iron Sing, so you can't really shrine it down and still obtain the same tankiness or durability that you once were able to have. However, post-shrine Iron Sing is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, attunements in the game. Having insanely quick mantras like Needle Barrage, Rocket Lance, or even Caltrops, Iron Sing can provide some great mix-ups for a heavy user. Not to mention, Jailer Path allows for a guaranteed hit, which can result in some crits being true, some mantras being true, and dealing big damage. Another great synergy it has is with the Metal Enchant. Metal Enchant actually got changed a long time ago to scale with M1 damage, and since Heavy has high M1 damage, it can steal your opponent's armor much quicker than any other weapon in the game can. Having this crazy armor steal and insane tankiness from key talents makes it almost equal to our next attunement on this list in terms of high HP and resistance. With our number 2 spot, we have Attunementless. Attunementless is an all-around good pick for Heavy, and for a good reason at that. With Heavy's large investment cost on some weapons, sometimes you're just forced to drop an attunement and pour all your stat points into your heavy weapon and bulk. These types of builds are often only possible with Attunementless due to the fact that you're able to sacrifice your attunement and pour more stat points into your desired weapon. With these saved points, you can actually distribute these stats into anything you'd like, which allows for much more creativity alongside your build making. This ability to pour these stat points into other talents as opposed to your attunement equals more bulk, more damage, and an overall smoother build to play. Attunementless is definitely a top pick in Chime, and I personally think it's a number 1 pick in that category due to the current meta being high sustain and high HP builds. However, this brings us to our number 1 spot, and this next attunement actually has the best synergy in the game with Heavy Weapon, and that attunement is Gale. Some of you guys might have already guessed it, but Gale has insanely good potential with heavy weapons and provides some very good buffs to your build. With Inhale, you're able to keep buffs on whenever you want, and those main buffs being Speed Demon and Aftercut at all times to buff your M1 damage by a crazy 35%, alongside crazy good mobility from a select few talents. This allows Gale to outshine any other attunement for ganks, Chime, and even PvE. Not to mention, similar to Flame Charm, Gale has amazing potential both pre-shrine and post-shrine, with High Gale being an amazing build in both Chime and ganks with high mantra damage, while still benefiting your M1 damage with things like Inhale and Speed Demon. Pre-shrine Gale still gets you a similar amount of buffs at a lower cost, but you do lose out on some of that mantra damage. This is especially needed if your heavy weapon costs a lot of stat points and requires you to pour a large bulk of your build into that point. With all these buffs and synergies, those are my main reasons for why I think Gale is the best synergy in the game with heavy in any aspect of the game that you'd like, whether it be ganks, Chime, or even PvE in some cases. Since Gale is one of the best attunements in the game right now, I don't really think this was a shock to some of you, But hey, if you like this list, make sure to drop a sub and comment which one you would personally use, alright? And with that, I'll see y'all later, bro. Peace.